How do you start a garden if you don't have seeds? We wanted to share this way of having a garden anyway, even if you can't buy seeds. Let's go that way so we can see how we can have a garden even if we don't have a single seed. Here I am with a basket of things we bought at the vegetable store. It's always better, as I recommend, to always buy from stores that sell agroecological products, agroecological vegetables, where we know the seeds haven't been treated and we know they're not sprayed and don't have toxins, that they don't use chemical fertilizers, but everything is based on natural products. Let's start with one of the easiest, carrots. With carrots, what we do is cut off this part if possible. You should try to find carrots that are as little aged as possible. But well, with whatever we have, we're going to try to get our seeds. What we're looking at is the possibility of having seeds in certain situations where we can't buy or can't get them. We have to work with what we have. We cut them like this more or less because we're going to use all this carrot to eat. Like this. This one is pretty old, but it has some green on it. It doesn't matter. Let's see what happens, right? And we cut them. Well, these carrots, these 3 carrots, we put them on a little tray, any kind, like in this case, yes, right there. And we add water. See what happens without covering it completely. I know that many of you already know this, but it doesn't matter. This is suddenly one of the crops, right? So it's going to help you with that. In the case of green onions, make sure they have this root. Sometimes they start cutting them off at the grocery store because they're already quite old. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to leave a little bit, about 2 fingers length or so. Yes, and then we cut there. And we're going to put this on a tray with water. We're going to add water to this tray. It's best if it stands upright, right? Arranging it with other vegetables is even better. See, there it is. So let's plant another one like this, another green onion right there. Here we have a leek, and we'll do the same as with the green onion. We cut a little bit and put it there. We use everything else in the kitchen. Here we have lettuce. Lettuce usually doesn't come with roots. It doesn't matter. We're going to cut this part right here, like this. And this goes on the tray. Then we have what would be the tomatoes or the bell peppers. They know how to do it, not perfectly. Anyway, for the bell pepper, we have to wait a little bit before planting it. Now I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works there. And what is here, we are going to take out. And now we have the seeds ready to plant. And there we already have what would be the bell pepper seeds. Let's look at the tomato, but first I'll show you something. Here, I brought onion. I had put the onion in water yesterday or the day before. You can put it whole like this in the water with the root facing down, or you can cut this part off and put it in with the root. See, I put it in 1 or 2 days ago and it's already starting to grow more roots, and then it will start to grow leaves upwards. Now let's see. Or if not, also what you can do is peel it, use it, peel it like you would in the kitchen, but then you make this cut like this. Like around where the root would be, like this. There. And so they use all this onion for cooking, for eating, and they leave the root and the little stem on top and put this on the tray like this. Then we have garlic directly. The garlic cloves that still have the skin, you put them in water, leave them for 1 or 2 days, and then take them out so that only the little part of the garlic stays, not this part down here towards the water. Avocado. We cut it all around like this. And this part here, which is the seed, we take it out, we can clean it a little bit. All the creamy part of the avocado, we use the avocado in a delicious salad, of course. And you simply place this with the little bottom part facing down and this part facing up. There's no need to use toothpicks or anything. Just like this in water, it'll work. Now we continue with the tomato. Please be patient as I show you the top of the tray and see what happens. And why are you going to get all the seeds for your garden? In the case of the tomato, we make a cut, any kind, in a strainer, and there we throw in tomato seeds. Very well, they will stay there. So what I do in the kitchen is press the pulp against the strainer and then rinse it with the faucet. Pouring water on it, you keep pouring a little water like this and rinse it under the faucet. It's much more practical in the kitchen, but here it's just to show you clearly how it is, right? So I'll be right back. I'm gonna do it in the kitchen. Okay, I'm back. See, there you can see the tomato seeds are much cleaner and you let them dry. I let them dry on a little plastic plate and they dry out. I remove this part, this little bit of pulp, as much as I can. And once they've dried in the plastic container, a really smooth one, I move them around a little and they come out great without sticking. Because if not, if we put them on cardboard or paper or some cotton fabric, what happens is that they stick a lot and can break. Seeds. So here we have tomato seeds. Well, here, for example, this is an old eggplant, which means it ripened a lot. We can cut it like this. We cut. In the case of eggplants, it's a bit more difficult because as you can see, this eggplant, even though it ripened a lot, at the vegetable store they always pick them very young. And the seeds still haven't matured, they haven't finished forming yet, so we don't have seeds to take out. In the case of potatoes, for example, what we do is take a potato. I usually pick a smaller potato. You put it in water. I mean, here it has water, but what will cover it is about up to here with water, and it will start to sprout. We place this one in the trays, and what stays soaking is the root. In all cases, in this case as well, yes, you can see the carrots and the little garlics all more or less placed so that only the root gets wet. This is left for about a week and you will notice how they start to sprout little leaves, how shoots start to come out from here, from this middle part. All of this will sprout, I assure you. The garlics will also sprout and grow roots. When that happens, in about 7 to 10 days, what you do next is take it to its final place, where you will plant it and cover it with soil up to here. So you're going to make a good hole in the soil, with compost, and you're going to plant it up to here. That is what will make the plant start to grow. And once it grows, some time will pass before it starts to bloom. And then its seeds from which they will take them out. Obviously, it's not a magical process, it's a process that takes time, but it's an effective process. When we plant the carrot in the soil, we're going to cover it with soil up to this part. Do you see, for example, that it has some little sprouts? What will happen is not that we're going to get another carrot, like many images on the internet show us. That's impossible. What it's going to give us is seeds. The same thing will happen with onions. It's not going to give us onions, it's not going to give us onions, it's a plant that will later give seeds. And from those seeds, we will be able to plant countless onions and countless carrots. Garlic, on the other hand, we are going to plant it, and when we plant it, another little garlic will grow underneath. This is the garlic seed, so it will produce another garlic. This is different, the process it's going through. In the case of lettuce or celery, for example, you do the same thing. The procedure we did with the green onion and the leek will start to give new lettuce leaves, which you'll be able to eat. But at the same time, if you let it grow, it will produce new flowers and new seeds. The same goes for green onion, the same for leek, and the same for celery. Here we also have the bell pepper seeds we prepared, and here are the tomato seeds. We just have to wait for them to dry and then we can plant them. Since we're in autumn now, if we want to plant bell peppers, for example, we have to do it in a greenhouse where cold air can't get in. In other words, a well-sealed, well-made greenhouse. If not, we'll have to wait until spring, until September. In the case of bell peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, squash, all of those, watermelon too, they all have to wait until spring. In the case of potatoes, we have to wait for them to sprout and then we plant the potato. And the sprouts should be left sticking out. And that will give you a lot more little potatoes under the ground. I know you like to see the whole process, but what if I started doing the whole process and showed you how that works? Because it would grow leaves and everything, it would take a while. Many of you had asked me for this video because there are a lot of people who can't get seeds, or there are a lot of people who are really having financial problems right now, and that doesn't mean they can't start their own garden. Even though we know it's going to take them more time, it's not the same as just putting a seed in the soil. It's going to take them more time, but they will be able to do it. It's not that they won't be able to do it. They will be able to do it. They will be able to have their garden, and that's important. Now, there are many people who are really going through difficult circumstances, both health-wise and economically. And if you are noticing the universe, the world, the essence, God, whatever you want to call it, is giving us a clear message. It's about returning to nature, going back to our roots, being independent. Because when these kinds of things happen, you see how we end up at the mercy of the powers that control us. So food sovereignty, seed sovereignty is very important, very, very, very important. So I think that if you're not able to buy seeds, even if it takes a little more work, even if you have to be more patient, it will be a great option for you to take these steps. And well, just be patient because your garden will fill up with plants anyway. Then, well, you can get seeds from your neighbors. Who knows, for example, you might have a neighbor who has achoshas like me and who would be happy to give you some. You just have to ask them. Look, maybe they have a planter, for example, an avocado tree. No, so you can ask them for seeds from an avocado, and with that you can plant your own avocado seed and you'll have an avocado tree. Maybe in about 10 years it will give you avocados, but it doesn't matter. You're planting food. Yes, with trees it takes longer, but who cares? What does it matter if we leave it to our children, if we leave it to our grandchildren? What does it matter if we can't enjoy it ourselves, right? I think we need to start thinking differently, without so much anxiety, without wanting things right away, and start doing more, to plan ahead and also to give to others, to leave something for our children, for our grandchildren, for future generations. Because human beings can be overwhelming sometimes, not just later on. If you want, for example, seeds to grow a lemon tree or an orange tree, well, you can get them from the same plant. We have a video on how to plant lemons. I'll leave it for you here, right here. That will work for all citrus fruits. Lemon, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, for all of them. What I do recommend is that you buy at least from a greengrocer. If you can't buy from an organic store, buy from a greengrocer. Don't buy from the supermarket because it's very likely that the seeds won't germinate because of how supermarkets handle and sell their produce. It's usually associated with fruits and vegetables that are genetically modified, and unfortunately, this means the seeds don't thrive. That's why we have to take such good care of our seeds, the seeds from a family garden, from an organic garden as they're called. Although actually the real term, the most correct one, is an agroecological garden. Let's take care of the seeds, give seeds as gifts, share seeds, exchange seeds.
Well, if you've made it this far to the end, I want to say thank you very much for watching the video. You can subscribe down below, hit the bell so you get all the notifications and stay up to date with the latest videos. You can also check out our social media like Facebook and Instagram. A thumbs up like this if you liked it, helps this video get seen by more people so it can help others too. And well, thank you very much. See you next time.